Chapter 5. Who Wants to Have Fun? As a young child, I think I was pretty typical for my age. I loved being outdoors and enjoyed all 4 seasons to their fullest. In the winter, we built snowmen and made angels in the fresh snow. On weekends, Mom and Dad would take us to the park to go tobogganing. I can still feel the exhilaration of flying down the hill and the ache in my legs after climbing back up again and again. It was a perfect way to stay active without even realizing it. Fall was camping season. We'd pack up and head into the woods, where Dad always took on the role of camp cook. Mom seemed to relish the break, joining us in our hikes and adventures among the trees. Those were some of my favorite times, filled with crisp air, smoky campfires, and the kind of freedom only a child can know. Summers were pure joy. Mom and Dad owned a 24-foot Owens cabin cruiser, and we'd take it out onto the Detroit River or Lake St. Clair to swim and fish. Dad's way of fishing was particularly sophisticated. He called it trolling. He'd steer the boat slowly while 2 lines trailed off the stern. There were no fishing rods involved, just spring-loaded reels set inside wooden boxes that would reel the line back in when tugged. We mostly caught northern pike and walleye, and Dad always made it feel like an adventure. Sometimes during the summer, we'd head up north to Gaylord, Michigan, camping at Otsego State Park. I remember how peaceful it was, far away from the city, with nothing but the sounds of the lake and the whisper of the trees. Springtime brought chores, repairs around the house, prepping the gardens, working on the lawn. Mom and Dad loved their home, and they took pride in the way it looked. All 3 of us kids pitched in, helping plant, weed, and mow all the way into fall. As I got older, my interests expanded. Dad bought a used pool table from a bar and set it up in our basement. He taught me how to play 8-ball first. By the time I got my driver's license, I was spending afternoons at the local pool hall on Kelly Road, where I learned how to play snooker. I got pretty good at it and started gambling to make a little extra money. At the time, the movie The Hustler had just come out, starring Paul Newman and Jackie Gleason. Newman's character was a pool shark named Fast Eddie. Naturally, that nickname found its way to me too, Fast Eddie. Looking back, I can only smile and shake my head at the arrogance of my youth. As my love for the game grew, I moved on to more advanced games like 3-cushion carom, a form of billiards that demanded even more precision and focus. In high school, I was a little above average academically and about the same athletically. I played tennis and was also a diver on Denby High School's swim team. I earned my varsity letters in both sports and wore my letter jacket proudly, the big D stitched across my chest. But one day at Denby High marked a turning point in my life. It was November 22, 1963. I was walking down the hall when a boy I knew, someone who will remain nameless, came up to me and said, "Hey Ed, did you hear the N lover is dead?" I didn't even know what he meant at first. I had never heard that term before. Then he told me President John F. Kennedy had been shot. I was stunned by the news, but even more stunned by the hate in the boy's words. I admired JFK. I admired how he lived out his political ideals and the hope he represented. I realized in that moment how naive I had been about racism. I grew up in an all-white community, and out of my entire graduating class, only 4 students were black, and I didn't even know their names. That moment planted something deep inside me, a calling, a quiet but insistent pull towards standing with those who suffered injustice and didn't have a voice.